Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to have all the luck? Why do good things always happen to them, while others struggle to get ahead? The secret might be simpler than you think. It's not about luck at all. It's about the power of your assumptions. Think about it. Your thoughts shape your world. Every single day, the assumptions you make about yourself, others, and the world around you are quietly working behind the scenes. They're like invisible architects building the reality you experience. And here's the kicker, most of us don't even realize we're doing it. Imagine you had a magic wand. With just a wave, you could change your life. Well, guess what? You do have that wand. It's your mind. The assumptions you hold are incredibly powerful. They can lift you up or hold you back. They can open doors or slam them shut. And the best part, you have the power to change them. But here's the thing, this isn't about positive thinking or wishing really hard for what you want. It's deeper than that. It's about understanding how your mind works and using that knowledge to reshape your reality. It's about tapping into a force that's been with you all along, just waiting to be unleashed. So, are you ready to unlock this hidden potential? Are you ready to see how your assumptions have been shaping your life and learn how to take control? Buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that could change everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. Change my assumptions sounds easy enough. But here's the catch. If it were that simple, everyone would be living their dream life. The truth is, changing your assumptions is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. And here's why. Your assumptions are like old comfortable shoes. You've worn them for so long, you hardly notice them anymore. They feel safe, familiar. But what if those shoes are actually holding you back? What if they're the very thing stopping you from running towards your dreams? Here's the hard truth. If you don't change what's going on inside your head, nothing on the outside will change. You can switch jobs, move to a new city, start a new relationship. But if your assumptions stay the same, you'll keep recreating the same patterns, the same problems, the same disappointments. But changing your assumptions, that's where the real magic happens. When you shift your inner world, your outer world has no choice but to follow suit. It's like dominoes. Change that first assumption and watch as everything else starts to fall into place. But I'll be honest with you, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. Changing your assumptions means facing some hard truths about yourself. It means looking in the mirror and being brutally honest about what you see. It means confronting the beliefs that have been holding you back, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's downright scary. You'll have to question everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. You'll have to be willing to let go of old stories, old excuses, old ways of thinking. And that's not easy. It takes courage. It takes commitment. It takes a willingness to step out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. But here's the thing. The stakes couldn't be higher, because on the other side of this challenge is the life you've always dreamed of, the person you've always wanted to be, the reality you've always wished you could create. So ask yourself, are you willing to do the hard work? Are you ready to face your assumptions head on? Because if you are, you're about to embark on the most important journey of your life. Let's dive deeper into this idea of assumptions and how they shape our reality. Think of your assumptions as a giant mirror. But this isn't just any mirror. It's a magic mirror that reflects not just what you look like on the outside, but what you believe on the inside. Every assumption you make, every belief you hold, gets reflected back to you in your everyday life. It's like the mirror is saying, this is what you believe about yourself and the world, so this is what I'm going to show you. If you believe the world is a harsh, unfriendly place, guess what? That's exactly what you'll see wherever you go. You'll notice all the times people are rude or unhelpful. You'll focus on the negative news stories. You'll remember all the times things didn't work out for you. But if you believe the world is full of opportunities and kind people, that's what you'll see instead. You'll notice when strangers smile at you. You'll remember the times when things worked out better than you expected. You'll spot opportunities that others miss. It's not that one person's world is actually better than the others. It's that they're seeing different reflections based on their assumptions. Now here's where it gets really interesting. This mirror doesn't just reflect your assumptions, it reinforces them. The more you see evidence that matches your assumptions, the stronger those assumptions become. It's a feedback loop that can either lift you up or drag you down. Let's look at an example to make this clearer. Say you want to start a business. If you assume you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur, you'll see evidence of that everywhere. Every small setback will feel like proof that you're not good enough. You'll focus on all the reasons why your business might fail. But if you assume you have what it takes to succeed, you'll see a totally different picture. You'll view setbacks as learning opportunities. You'll notice all the small wins along the way. You'll spot resources and support that can help you grow. Same situation, but two completely different experiences, all because of the assumptions you're making. This is why changing your assumptions is so powerful. When you shift your assumptions, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing the very lens through which you see the world. And when that changes, everything changes. But remember, this isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about understanding that your assumptions color your perception of reality. And by changing those assumptions, you can open yourself up to new possibilities, new opportunities, and new ways of being. So take a moment to reflect. What assumptions are you making about yourself and the world? What kind of reality are those assumptions creating for you? And most importantly, are those the assumptions you want to keep making? Because here's the exciting part. Once you understand how this mirror works, you can start to change the reflection. You can start to craft a new reality, one assumption at a time. And that's where the real transformation begins. Now that we've grasped the basics of how assumptions work, let's dig deeper into the first key, understanding your assumptions. This is where the real work begins, but it's also where the magic starts to happen. Your assumptions are like invisible glasses you wear all the time. They color everything you see, but you've worn them for so long that you don't even realize they're there. These assumptions fall into two main categories: how you see yourself and how you see the world. Let's start with how you see yourself. These are your beliefs about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. Maybe you believe you're not smart enough to get that promotion, or perhaps you think you're not attractive enough to find a loving partner. These beliefs about yourself shape your actions and your expectations. Then there's how you see the world. This is your worldview, your beliefs about how life works, what's possible, and what to expect from others. Do you believe the world is a friendly place, or do you see danger around every corner? Do you think opportunities are abundant, or do you believe there's never enough to go around? Here's the tricky part. Most of these assumptions are unconscious. You've picked them up over the years from your family, your culture, your experiences. They've become so much a part of you that you don't even question them. But if you want to change your reality, you need to bring these assumptions into the light. Start by paying attention to your thoughts and reactions throughout the day. When something good happens, what do you tell yourself? When you face a challenge, what's your immediate response? These knee-jerk reactions can give you clues about your underlying assumptions. Listen to the stories you tell about yourself and your life. Do you often say things like, "I'm just not good with money," or "nothing ever works out for me"? These aren't just harmless comments, they're expressions of your deep-seated assumptions. Look at the patterns in your life too. Do you always seem to end up in the same types of situations? Do you keep facing the same problems? These patterns can reveal assumptions you might not even know you have. The goal here isn't to judge yourself or beat yourself up over negative assumptions. It's simply to become aware, because awareness is the first step to change. Once you can see your assumptions clearly, you can start to question them. You can ask yourself, is this really true? Is this serving me? What if I believed something different? Remember, understanding your assumptions isn't a one-time task. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery. But the more you practice, the more you'll see how these hidden beliefs have been shaping your reality all along. And that's when you'll be ready to start making powerful changes. Now that you're starting to uncover your assumptions, you might be eager to see changes right away. But here's where our second key comes in. Be patient. This is probably one of the hardest parts of the process, but it's absolutely crucial. Here's why patience is so important. In our inner world, the world of thoughts and beliefs, change can happen in an instant. The moment you decide to believe something new, that belief exists in your mind. But in the outer world, the physical reality we live in, things move a bit slower. Think of it like planting a seed. The moment you put that seed in the ground, it's there. But you can't see it yet. It takes time for that seed to sprout, grow, and finally bear fruit. Your new assumptions are like that seed. You've planted them, but it takes time for them to grow and show up in your life. This delay between changing your assumptions and seeing results in your life can be frustrating. You might start to doubt yourself. You might wonder if this whole assumption thing really works. This is where most people give up. But this is also where the real magic happens, if you can hold on. Let's say you've always assumed you're bad with money. You've decided to change that assumption to, I'm learning to manage money wisely. You start making better financial decisions, but your bank account doesn't magically fill up overnight. It might take weeks or even months before you start to see significant changes. During this time, it's crucial to hold on to your new assumption, even when the old reality is still staring you in the face. This is because your outer reality is a reflection of your past assumptions, not your current ones. It's like seeing an old photograph of yourself. Just because the photo shows you with a different hairstyle doesn't mean that's how you look now. In the same way, your current circumstances don't reflect your new assumptions yet. So how do you stay patient during this time? First, celebrate the small wins. Maybe you made a smart spending decision, or you found a new way to save money. These small changes are signs that your new assumption is starting to take root. Second, keep reinforcing your new assumption. Use affirmations, visualizations, or whatever works for you to keep that new belief strong in your mind. The stronger and more consistent your new assumption is, the faster you'll see changes in your outer world. Third, trust the process. Remember that change is happening even if you can't see it yet. Just like that seed underground, your new reality is growing. Your job is to keep nurturing it with your consistent thoughts and actions. Lastly, enjoy the journey. The process of changing your assumptions isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming a new version of yourself. Each day that you hold on to your new assumption, you're growing stronger. You're becoming more aligned with the person you want to be. Patience might not be exciting, but it's a superpower when it comes to changing your reality. It's what separates those who create lasting change from those who give up too soon. So hold on to your new assumptions, trust the process, and get ready to watch your new reality unfold. Now that we understand the importance of patience, let's move on to our third key, focusing on what you want. This might sound simple, but it's a game changer when it comes to shaping your reality. Here's the thing, your mind is incredibly powerful, but it doesn't always know the difference between what you want and what you don't want. It just focuses on whatever you're thinking about most often and most intensely. This is why complaining about what you don't like or worrying about what might go wrong can actually bring more of those things into your life. Think about it this way. If I tell you don't think about a pink elephant, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? A pink elephant, right? Your mind focuses on the image, not the don't. The same thing happens when you focus on what you don't want in your life. Let's say you're always thinking, I don't want to be in debt. Your mind hears debt and focuses on that. You end up noticing all the ways you're in debt, all the things you can't afford, all the financial struggles around you. Without realizing it, you're reinforcing the very thing you don't want. So how do we flip this around? By consciously choosing to focus on what you do want instead of what you don't want. Instead of thinking, I don't want to be in debt, try thinking, I want financial freedom. Instead of I don't want to be lonely, think I want loving relationships. This shift in focus does two important things. First, it changes the energy you're putting out into the world. When you focus on what you want, you start to feel more positive and hopeful. This change in your emotional state can open you up to opportunities you might have missed before. Second, it trains your mind to look for evidence of what you want. Remember, your assumptions are like a filter for your experiences. When you focus on what you want, you're creating a new filter. You'll start noticing the small ways your finances are improving, or the friendly interactions you have with people throughout your day. But here's where many people get tripped up. They think focusing on what they want means ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. That's not it at all. You can acknowledge challenges while still keeping your focus on your desired outcome. For example, if you're dealing with a health issue, you don't have to pretend you're not sick, but instead of constantly thinking about the illness, you can focus on the health and vitality you want to experience. You can imagine how it will feel to be full of energy, to move your body with ease, to enjoy your favorite activities without pain. This focus on what you want doesn't guarantee that everything will magically fall into place, but it does two crucial things. It keeps you oriented towards your goals, and it helps you spot opportunities to move in that direction. So how can you put this into practice? Start by getting clear on what you actually want, not what you think you should want, or what others expect you to want, but what truly lights you up. What kind of life would make you jump out of bed with excitement each morning? Then make a conscious effort to think about these things regularly. Visualize them. Feel the emotions you'd feel if you already had them. Talk about them with enthusiasm. When you catch yourself focusing on what you don't want, gently redirect your thoughts to what you do want. Remember, this isn't about ignoring reality or avoiding necessary action. It's about choosing where to put your mental and emotional energy. By focusing on what you want, you're aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desires. And that's when you start to see real changes in your life. Now that we've learned to focus on what we want, let's dive into our fourth and final key, creating new assumptions. This is where we take everything we've learned and put it into action to reshape our reality. Remember, your assumptions are like the foundation of your life. They're the beliefs that everything else is built on. So if you want to create real, lasting change, you need to lay a new foundation. This means consciously choosing new assumptions that align with the life you want to create. Let's say you've always assumed that success is hard and requires a lot of struggle. This assumption might have led you to work yourself to the bone, always feeling stressed and overwhelmed. But what if you chose a new assumption? What if you decided to believe that success can come easily and joyfully? At first, this new assumption might feel strange or even impossible. That's normal. Your old assumptions have been with you for a long time, and they won't give up without a fight. But here's where the magic happens. You don't have to believe the new assumption 100% right away. You just have to be willing to consider it. Start by asking yourself, what if this were true? How would I act if I really believed this? Then, start acting as if the new assumption is already true. If you believed success could come easily, you might start looking for ways to work smarter, not harder. You might give yourself permission to enjoy the process instead of always pushing and striving. As you act on this new assumption, you'll start to see evidence that supports it. Maybe you'll have a breakthrough that comes more easily than you expected. Or you'll notice successful people who seem to genuinely enjoy what they do. Each piece of evidence strengthens your new assumption, making it easier to believe and act on. But here's the key. You need to keep reinforcing your new assumptions consistently. It's not enough to think about them once and then go back to your old ways of thinking. You need to remind yourself of your new assumptions daily, even hourly at first. One powerful way to do this is through affirmations. These are positive statements that reflect your new assumptions. For example, success flows to me easily and joyfully. Repeat these to yourself regularly, especially when you catch yourself slipping back into old thought patterns. Another effective technique is visualization. Spend time each day imagining yourself living as if your new assumptions were true. How would you carry yourself? How would you interact with others? How would you approach challenges? The more vividly you can imagine this, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. It's also crucial to surround yourself with people and information that support your new assumptions. If you're trying to believe in abundance, for instance, seek out stories of abundance. Connect with people who have an abundant mindset. The more you immerse yourself in your new assumptions, the faster they'll take root. Remember, creating new assumptions isn't about forcing yourself to believe something. It's about opening yourself up to new possibilities. It's about giving yourself permission to experience life in a different way. And here's something exciting. As you start to shift your assumptions in one area of your life, you might notice changes in other areas too. That's because all your assumptions are interconnected. When you start believing in abundance in your career, for example, you might find that belief spilling over into your relationships or your health. So be patient with yourself as you create these new assumptions. It's a process, and it takes time. Some days will be easier than others. There might be times when your old assumptions try to reassert themselves. That's okay. Just gently remind yourself of your new assumptions and keep moving forward. The key is to persist. Keep choosing your new assumptions even when it feels hard. Keep acting as if they're true even when you don't see results right away. Because with each choice, each action, you're reshaping your reality. You're becoming the person who naturally lives those new assumptions. And that's when the real transformation happens. That's when you look around and realize that your life has changed in ways you once thought impossible. All because you dared to assume something new. Now that we've explored all 4 keys, it's time to put this knowledge into practice. This exercise will help you start reshaping your assumptions and, by extension, your reality. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Now, think about an area of your life where you'd like to see change. It could be your career, your relationships, your health, or any other aspect that's important to you. First, write down your current assumptions about this area of your life. Be honest with yourself. What do you really believe about this situation? Don't judge your assumptions, just acknowledge them. For example, if you are focusing on your career, your current assumptions might be, success requires constant struggle and sacrifice. I'm not skilled enough to get the job I really want. There's too much competition in my field. Now look at each of these assumptions and ask yourself, is this really true? How has this belief been shaping my experiences? How would my life be different if I didn't believe this? Next, it's time to create new assumptions. For each old assumption, write down a new, more empowering belief. Remember, you don't have to fully believe these new assumptions yet. Just be open to the possibility that they could be true. Continuing with the career example, your new assumptions might be, success can come easily and joyfully when I'm aligned with my true talents. I have unique skills and perspectives that are valuable in my field. There are abundant opportunities for those who are prepared and passionate. Now close your eyes and imagine yourself fully embodying these new assumptions. How would you carry yourself? How would you approach your work? How would you interact with colleagues and potential employers? Really feel what it would be like to believe these new assumptions completely. Open your eyes and write down 3 actions you can take this week that align with your new assumptions. These don't have to be big actions. Small, consistent steps are often more powerful than grand gestures. For instance, spend 30 minutes each day developing a skill I'm passionate about. Reach out to someone in my field who inspires me and ask for a brief chat. Start each workday by listing 3 things I'm excited to contribute. Commit to doing these actions, even if they feel uncomfortable at first. Remember, you're not just doing tasks. You're reinforcing your new assumptions with every action you take. Finally, create a daily reminder of your new assumptions. This could be a note on your phone, a poster on your wall, or a mantra you repeat to yourself each morning. Make sure you're reinforcing these new beliefs every single day. Remember, changing your assumptions is a process. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small shift you notice. With time and practice, these new assumptions will become your new reality. As we wrap up our journey through the power of assumptions, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've discovered that our assumptions are not just passive beliefs, but active forces shaping our reality every single day. We started by understanding the mirror principle, how our assumptions reflect back to us in our daily experiences. We learned that if we want to change our outer world, we must first change our inner world. We explored the high stakes of this work. Changing our assumptions isn't easy, but the alternative, staying stuck in limiting beliefs, is far more costly in the long run. We delved into 4 key principles for harnessing the power of our assumptions, understanding our current assumptions and how they're impacting our lives, being patient as we wait for our new assumptions to manifest in our reality, focusing on what we want rather than what we don't want, creating and reinforcing new empowering assumptions. And finally, we put this knowledge into practice with an exercise designed to help you start reshaping your assumptions right away. Remember, this work is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of self-discovery and growth. There will be challenges along the way. Old assumptions may try to reassert themselves. Doubts may creep in. But with persistence and patience, you can create lasting change. As you move forward from here, carry this truth with you. You have the power to shape your reality. Your assumptions are the paintbrush, and your life is the canvas. What masterpiece will you create? Every day you have the opportunity to choose your assumptions. Choose wisely. Choose assumptions that empower you, that excite you, that align with the life you truly want to live. And most importantly, be kind to yourself throughout this process. Changing deep-seated assumptions takes time. Celebrate every small victory. Learn from every setback. Trust that with each conscious choice, each new assumption, you're moving closer to the reality you desire. You've already taken the first step by engaging with these ideas. Now it's time to take the next step. What assumption will you choose to change today? What new reality will you begin to create? The power is in your hands. Your journey to a new reality starts now. Embrace it, enjoy it, and watch in wonder as your world transforms before your eyes.